We're going to show the installation of the rear wheel bearing on the e36 M3. We use the hydraulic punch driver kit, and it's, you know, Harbor Freight, no big deal. And we also use the front wheel bearing adapters kit with all these different discs, and you kind of combine the two tools together. This long bolt here comes in the bearing adapters kit, and the nice thing is it threads into the hydraulic ram of the punch driver kit. Perfect.
Very cool.
So this is actually out of the punch driver. This is out of the bearing press kit. So I just go in here, and what you want to do is you want this disc right here to go from the back side and press against the arm. So if you look, you see it back there?
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, so if you look up here, you can see where the bearing is going to stop. And this goes there. It's going to look weird with this punch driver, but it's actually going to push the bearing all the way in. And because it uses hydraulic pressure, you can really get the bearing all the way in there. Go like this. And we'll just sit like that.
Cool.
And the bearing, you notice on these bearings it's got this little darker edge here. It's actually like a small bevel. That goes inside. Because I want to push on the outer race, and then if you'll excuse me, thread this into here. I swear it threads in. Okay, there it goes. Okay, now we're going to start that. So, whoop. See, that's the tricky part. It gets a little sideways on you.
Okay.
There
Holding
it
it
goes.
straight. Oh, I can see it pushing through.
Yeah. You want to make sure it gets started kind of straight. And then you just do this. And then now we got to thread it some more. Making car porn.
There it goes. Look at that.
Yeah. So we'll get it all the way in until it goes flush with that. Then it'll be a matter of flipping this around, because you want to always push on the outer portion of the race. You don't want to push on the inner race unless you absolutely have to.
Right.
But if I measured right, we can just flip this one over. See, it's a pretty close fit.
Yeah, it is.
I'll throw one of these little ones on here as a spacer. That way you don't have to turn it as much.
Yeah.
Make life easier when you can, right? You know what? Let me turn this one around. A little bit cumbersome with the weight of the discs and everything. But I'm gonna try and push it in a little bit. See where it goes.
It's flush.
Well, the tool is flush. I don't know if the bearing's all the way in yet. We might have to change some stuff around. It's almost there. And I mean, it's not perfect, but you know what? We're just, you know, spending $180 at Harbor Freight. You pretty much have everything you need to get it pushed out and pressed in. And it's a lot easier than the slide hammer. So see, it still needs to go a little bit farther. Just got to make sure it goes in there, see?
So the key thing is to make sure it fits around the outer race.
Yeah, inside the control arm itself, but as close to the outer race as possible.
Right.
You can just stack these things on as, like, that's at least 3/4 of an inch of thread, so you should be okay with that. And when the bearing is actually in, you'll know, because it gets really tight. So that should be it. And then, so now we should be able to see the groove for the clip, the snap ring. Because believe me, you don't want to forget the snap ring. No. But that's it. It's pretty much installed. We'll throw the snap ring in there, and then we'll use the same setup, maybe a couple of different discs and stuff, but it'll also push the hub in.
I see.
Yeah. So that is that. I hope that helped. For the hub, I'm going to go in, and this time the piece we're going to put in the back is just going to push on the race part, because you got to hold that in, because if you try to shove the hub in without holding that in, you'll knock the inside race out.
Okay.
And then it's a pain in the butt. That's just going to go through there, and then the hub. I put a little anti-seize on there. It's debatable whether you should do that or not, but I like to, so I'm working on the car, so I do what I like. So maybe you wanted to add a couple extra pieces to shim it out so I don't have to thread it as far, but again, I want to make sure I have enough thread in there so I don't damage it. And what'll happen is we start pulling it in. And what's nice about doing it with this, the hydraulic pressure really allows you to make sure it's installed all the way, absolutely.
Right.
All right, so now we've bottomed out. All right, the bolt's bottomed out. And I think that's it. Yep. I'm gonna give it a little extra oomph. All right, so that's that. And that's all that. And the hub's in. And you'll notice no play. It gets it in there so tight that there's no play, which is perfect.
Good. Cool.
And that's it. One wheel bearing and one hub installation.